How subscription companies are designed to make you forget you are paying them. Open your bank statement right now. Scroll through the last 30 days of transactions. Count every recurring charge, every streaming service, every app, every subscription box, every cloud storage plan, every gym you may or may not have visited. Count them all. Research from C+R. Research found that the average American spends approximately $219 per month on subscription services. But the same research found that when asked to estimate what they spend, the average American guesses around $86 per month. They underestimate their own subscription spending by more than 2.5 times. That gap between what you think you are paying and what you are actually paying is not an accident. It is a product. Subscription companies spend billions of dollars engineering the precise conditions that make you forget you are paying them. And understanding exactly how they do it is the first step to taking your money back. But to understand why this works on almost everyone, including people who consider themselves financially aware, you need to understand where the subscription economy came from. Because the business model was not always designed this way. Something specific changed in the way companies thought about customers. And that change is the foundation of everything that follows. For most of the 20th century, software and media were sold as products. You paid once. You owned it. A copy of Microsoft Office cost $399. You bought it. It sat on your computer. Microsoft received your money once and had no further claim on your wallet. Then, companies discovered something that changed everything. A customer who pays $15 per month is worth $180 per year. Over 5 years, that same customer is worth $900. A customer who buys a $399 product once is worth $399 forever. The economics of subscription revenue are so dramatically superior to product revenue that once companies understood the model, the migration was inevitable. Every major software company, media company, and consumer service company in the world has been moving towards subscription revenue since 2010. And as they did, they began engineering their products, not just to deliver value, but to make cancellation feel harder than staying. Subscription companies use 6 distinct psychological and design mechanisms to ensure you keep paying long after you have stopped using their product. Here are all 6. The small amount illusion, $14.99 per month, sounds negligible. It is less than a cup of coffee every 2 days. $179.88 per year sounds like a significant decision. They are the same number, but subscription companies always show you the monthly version, because the monthly version does not trigger the cognitive alarm that the annual version does. The free trial conversion machine. A free trial requires a credit card for one reason, not for fraud prevention, for automatic conversion. The industry average conversion rate from free trial to paid subscription is extraordinarily high because most conversions are not decisions. They are the result of forgetting to cancel before the deadline. The free trial is not a gift. It is a commitment device designed to transfer the burden of action from subscribing onto canceling. The friction asymmetry. Subscribing to a service takes approximately 30 seconds. Canceling the same service can take 5 minutes, multiple menu navigations, a retention offer designed to make you reconsider, and occasionally a phone call. This is not a user experience oversight. It is a deliberate design decision. The harder cancellation is, the higher the retention rate. Every additional step in the cancellation flow is a calculated bet that some percentage of users will give up and stay. The annual commitment trap. Annual subscriptions are presented as a saving, and mathematically they are, for the duration of the year. But an annual subscription changes the psychological dynamic entirely. You have prepaid for 12 months. The sunk cost is already committed. Canceling mid-year feels like wasting money, even when continuing to pay is the less rational economic choice. Mechanism 5. The notification suppression pattern. When you buy a product from a store, the transaction is visible, a receipt, a notification, a line on your bank statement that you actively processed. Subscription charges are designed to be invisible. No renewal notifications unless legally required. No usage reminders. No alerts when you have not logged in for 3 months. The less visible the charge, the lower the cancellation rate. Silence is a retention strategy. Mechanism 6. The loyalty sunk cost. The sunk cost fallacy is one of the most well-documented errors in behavioral economics. It describes the human tendency to continue an action because of past investment, even when continuing is the less rational choice. Subscription companies benefit from this fallacy passively. The longer you have subscribed, the more psychologically costly cancellation feels. You have 3 years invested in that streaming library. You have built playlists on that music service. Cancellation feels like losing something you own, even though you never owned it at all. Now here's where this gets genuinely uncomfortable. No alerts when you have not logged in for 3 months. The less visible the charge, the lower the cancellation rate. Silence is a retention strategy. Mechanism 6. The loyalty sunk cost. The sunk cost fallacy is one of the most well-documented errors in behavioral economics. It describes the human tendency to continue an action because of past investment, even when continuing is the less rational choice. Subscription companies benefit from this fallacy passively. The longer you have subscribed, the more psychologically costly cancellation feels. You have 3 years invested in that streaming library. You have built playlists on that music service. Cancellation feels like losing something you own, even though you never owned it at all. Now here is where this gets genuinely uncomfortable, because those 6 mechanisms are not being deployed accidentally. They are being deployed at scale, across hundreds of millions of subscribers, with precise revenue data behind each design decision. The numbers on what subscription companies earn specifically from inactive subscribers who forgot to cancel are striking, and they directly translate into a number that is coming out of your account. Subscription companies track something called passive retention. Passive retention is the percentage of paying subscribers who rarely or never use the service but have not canceled. This is not a small number. Industry analysts estimate that passive retention rates across major subscription services range from 20% to 40% of total subscribers. That is the economic scale of subscription forgetting. Billions of dollars per year, flowing from consumers to corporations, in exchange for products that are not being used. And this is not limited to streaming services. Gym memberships, cloud storage plans you have long outgrown, software subscriptions for tools you stopped using, and mobile app subscriptions that renewed silently for years. Every category of subscription has a passive retention component, and every company that relies on subscription revenue has a financial incentive to maximize it. The statistic that changes how you think about this C+R research found that the average American underestimates their monthly subscription spending by more than 2.5 times. When participants were asked to estimate their monthly subscription costs, they guessed approximately $86. Their actual average was $219. That $133 gap per month represents $1,596 per year, leaving accounts invisibly. Verify this figure against current research before publishing, as studies vary in methodology. Now let us make this completely personal, because the average figure is interesting, but your actual number is what matters. And in the next 3 minutes, we are going to walk through the exact system for calculating precisely how much subscription spending is leaving your account, and which specific subscriptions are worth keeping versus which ones are costing you money for nothing in return. Here is the audit system. Open your bank statement for the last 60 days, not 30. Some subscriptions are billed every 6 weeks or on irregular cycles, and a 30-day window misses them. Write down every recurring charge, the name of the service, and the exact monthly amount. For each subscription, add a third column, the annual cost. Monthly amount multiplied by 12. This is the most important column, because the annual cost is the number your brain has been prevented from processing by the monthly pricing design. Now add a fourth column, last used. When did you last actively use this service? Not passively have it running in the background. Actively chose to use it. Any subscription you cannot remember actively using in the last 30 days is a candidate for cancellation. Any subscription you have not used in 60 days is a strong candidate. Any subscription you have not used in 90 days should be canceled immediately. This single audit exercise, which takes approximately 20 minutes, will reveal the exact size of your subscription blind spot. The audit tells you what is leaving your account, but knowing is only half of the system. The second half is the tools and the specific strategy for making sure new subscriptions never slip through your awareness again. And there is one tool in particular that changes the subscription game entirely, and most people have never heard of it. Here it is. Here is the complete 4-part subscription control system. Before signing up for any new subscription, calculate the annual cost first, not the monthly cost. $9.99 per month is $119.88 per year. Ask yourself, would I pay $119.88 right now for 12 months of this service? If the answer is no, the subscription is not worth taking. If yes, proceed. This single rule, applied consistently, eliminates most impulse subscriptions before they begin. Privacy.com and similar virtual card services allow you to generate a unique card number for each subscription sign-up. You set a spending limit on each virtual card, meaning when your free trial ends and the company attempts to charge you, if you have not actively decided to continue, the charge is declined automatically. The burden of action shifts from canceling back to actively choosing to continue. This is the single most powerful tool available to combat the free trial conversion machine. Rocket Money and Trim are apps that connect to your bank account, identify every recurring charge, and present them in a single consolidated view with cancellation options built in. Both offer a paid tier that will negotiate bills and cancel subscriptions on your behalf. The free tier alone, simply identifying all recurring charges in one place, is sufficient for most households to immediately identify 3 to 5 subscriptions they had forgotten about. Run the Audit app once every 3 months. Before canceling any subscription you are reconsidering, check whether the service offers a pause option. Netflix, Spotify, and many other major services allow subscribers to pause for 1 to 3 months at no charge rather than canceling. This matters economically because some services offer introductory pricing that cannot be recovered once you cancel. Pause first. If you do not return within the pause window, cancel. If you do return, you preserved access to your pricing tier. Subscription companies are not evil. They are rational. They found a business model that generates predictable, recurring revenue, and they engineered their products to maximize it. The 6 mechanisms we covered today are not accidents. They are features. Features designed to keep money moving from your account to theirs, month after month, with the minimum possible friction and the maximum possible invisibility. Next week on Price Decoded, we are going even deeper into the consumer finance system. How credit card companies make over $100 billion a year off your purchases, and the exact strategy to reverse that flow in your favor. Newsletter link in the description. New video to your inbox before it goes live. And if this video made you open your bank statement, subscribe, because there is a lot more to decode.